Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Enrique and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Grace Road Church headquarters raided last night. Villagers of Natan Randave and Tailevu living in fear. An FTU refutes statement made by the AG.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
An overnight raid by police and officials from Fiji and Korea has led to 3 senior Grace Road Church followers being taken in for questioning on allegations of assault and confinement of some 400 church followers. Director for Immigration Nemani Vuniwanga confirmed that the raid was conducted in collaboration with the Korean police, Fijian police and immigration. Vuniwanga says they were looking for 6 people at the church headquarters in Navua. However, only 3 were detained. He says the other 3 suspects remain at large and they are working with the church executives to locate them. Last month, the founder of the Grace Road Church, Shinok Ju, and 3 other church members were arrested and charged with assault and confinement of church members as well as exploitation of foreign currency. We now cross live to our senior journalist, Maggie Boyle, who has been closely following the story. Maggie, the Grace Road Church saga has had some developments. Can you fill us in on the latest?
Good evening, Jackie. Well, what we do know is that Korean police arrived into the country on Monday. They had a list of 7 suspects. Now, of that 7, the Immigration Director Nemani Vuniwanga tells us that of that 7, 1 had returned to Korea in April. 6 remained in the country. In the raid last night, 3 were picked up. 3, of course, remain at large, and the authorities are now working with Grace Road Church executives to locate where these other 3 are. This, of course, is in relation to allegations of assault and confinement of some 400 church members. Now, what does this mean for the 50-odd businesses that have been set up across Fiji under the Grace Road Group? Well, time will tell. Questions, of course, have been sent to the Commissioner of Police and the Minister of Defence. Those questions, of course, remain unanswered.
Thanks so much for that update, Maggie. Villagers of Natan Randave and Tailevu are living in fear of what the future may offer as one of their main sources of livelihood has been destroyed by extraction of gravel. The villagers rely on a nearby river for their daily living and are now looking for other avenues to survive. Ali Kimbia files this story.
Once known to be one of the major rivers in Tailevu North is now all dried up, and it has left the hopes of Natan Randave villagers in despair.
We are no longer doing what we used to do before in the river, and we can't even bathe because of the damage done.
We used to fish in the river before, but now we are forced to buy fish from the shop.
Already into the dry season, and when pipe water runs dry, villagers rely on the river as an alternative water source, but now it is no more.
When they started digging up the river and also when there is no water during the dry season, I always feel sorry for the women in the village because we will have to walk to another village to fetch water.
Villagers claim that the main cause of the issue is the extraction works carried out by a private company down the river.
They have done a huge damage to one of our main source of life, and now we can no longer do anything from the river.
Permanent Secretary for the Department of Minerals, Malakai Finau, told FBC News that villagers should raise their concerns to them and they will inspect works carried out.
This river lies just 20 meters away from the Natan Randave village. Over the years, the river has contributed to the daily livelihood of more than 300 people in the village. With dredging works occurring down the river, villagers are no longer relying on this river for their daily livelihood. With dry season like this, they will have to walk more than 10 kilometers to the next village to fetch water for their daily lives. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Fiji Teachers Union General Secretary Agni Deo Singh today refuted the statement made by the Attorney General that they are being motivated by political self-interest and not by the genuine interest of their members. Singh says they're only worried about the welfare of the teachers. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Fiji Teachers Union General Secretary says he stands by what he said about the job evaluation exercise for teachers and the open merit recruitment system. Singh claims the unions are being told that they have no say and that under the reforms, heads of schools have lost their substantive positions.
Clearly stipulates that the permanent secretary may invite other stakeholders to participate in the job evaluation exercise as observers. So where was the role of the union in the job evaluation exercise, except being called by the Honorable Minister and his team and being told what was happening?
Meanwhile, Attorney General Ayaz Sarkayum in a statement says baseless claims and outright lies prove that the Fiji Teachers Union's out-of-touch leadership is motivated by political self-interest and not by the genuine interest of its members. Sarkayum claims it is unfortunate to hear statements that are clearly meant to spread fear and confusion among the very teachers the union is intended to represent. He alleges the truth is this, that both the reform and restructure were implemented to help Fiji's teachers, not Fiji's unions. The Attorney General believes the new system is fair, merit-based and transparent, which was created through consultations. He adds it is no surprise that the union choose to continue to mislead the members, but they cannot hide from the facts. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Still to come, wait and lane restrictions for Tamavui Wai Bridge. And India celebrates its 72nd Independence Day. Details after the break.
Bula neva ngo malakai leloma ngo ngai nakas on do rong nam Bula FM namban dua ena sere
Oya uvasit sai sai lambasa ya on do talita ina warong nam Bula FM namba dua ena sere
Dua do kimeli ako na tao no hinga toka talita kina na warong nam Bula FM namban dua ena sere Wana tuma nam Bula FM namba dua ena sere naluan
Na vengo fane na tao no singa toka kito do talita kana Bula FM namba dua ena sere
Bula FM namba dua ena sere.
The Tamavui Wai Bridge in Lami will undergo wait and lane restrictions from Monday. The Fiji Roads Authority says the latest inspection has indicated that the bridge is deteriorating and needs to be looked at. Pranita Prakash reports.
Vehicles and trucks travelling across the Tamavua Iwai Bridge are expected to adhere to the weight restrictions that will come into effect next Monday.
For the safety of the workers, there's a weight restriction in the daytime, 20 ton from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, and then in the night from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily, the weight restriction will be 32 ton, but there will be single lane.
The single lane and weight restriction will be in place for the next 6 weeks.
Well, message to the heavy goods vehicle is plan their crossing times to this bridge, possibly if they can have their deliveries or the crossing at night time when their weights are more than 32 ton. And during the day, the weight is 20 tons, so most of these vehicles would be able to cross during the daytime.
However, the Road Haulage Association has expressed its disappointment on the restriction.
We're not happy, but what option do we have? I think we've suggested that a Bailey Bridge that caters for the heavy goods vehicle to be seriously considered, to be put in place, while lighter vehicles could travel, and then the majority of people won't be affected.
Meanwhile, the FRA says that some ground conditions have delayed the replacement of the Tamavua Iwai Bridge. However, there are plans to replace the bridge next year. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A huge crowd gathered today at India House in Tamavua, Suva to mark India's 72nd Independence Day. Indian High Commissioner to Fiji, Vishwas Sapkal, says this year's Independence Day is special because the Indian Navy officers from the Saidri, docked in Suva, joined the celebration. Kritika Kumar reports.
As the celebrations for the historic day began, a 7-year-old opened the ceremony dancing with the Indian flag. The Indian High Commissioner to Fiji says Independence Day is a day to look back with satisfaction and gratitude for what India has been able to achieve due to the efforts of successful ancestors.
It is a day to renew our resolve to fill the gaps that still remain in our nation-building project, gaps that our talented young people will no doubt fill.
On this special day, the Commissioner said it was fortunate their ancestors left them with a free India, but also left tasks needed to develop the society unfinished.
We live up to the principles of our freedom struggle by providing access to technology and other facilities to our farmers for enhanced productivity and enhanced incomes.
Permanent Secretary for Fiji's Foreign Affairs said that today they celebrate a free, independent and modern India.
It is in India that Prime Minister Nehru then predicted in 1947 that when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
Meanwhile, the first Independence Day for India was celebrated in 1947 when Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru raised the Indian national flag. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Hundreds of Fijians took advantage of the free public health screening at Ratasukuna Park in Suva today. Medical staff from the Indian naval ship Saidri, along with officers from the Fiji military and the Health Ministry, carried out health checks to ensure people were aware of their health status. Kelly Vadala reports.
People from all walks of life who were cautious of their health turned up in numbers to get themselves checked.
It's just a general checkup, basically looking at the sugar level, your pressure, your height, something that we just ignore at times. It's best to come and have your check and you will be able to know your status so that we could also analyze the result of this at the end of the day.
For many, the free health screening was an opportunity to get a second opinion.
I brought my mom to get her health checked just to see she's doing okay.
I think it's really helpful. We don't have to pay and it's good for us.
Me want to check up the free medical checkup to my body.
The India's High Commissioner to Fiji says when people are in good health, it can show in the development of the country.
It is very important to be fit. If one is fit, then the country is fit, nation is fit, and you can give your contribution in the development process of your country.
The Commissioner is also advising Fijians to get checked regularly at the nearest health center and to try and live a healthy lifestyle. Meanwhile, these medical staff from INS Sayadri will depart tomorrow evening. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Parents and children are making the most of the school break as the 2018 Hibiscus Festival continues. The popular barbecue stalls and rides are the biggest attractions. Catherine Krishna reports.
The Hibiscus Festival barbecue stalls have always been popular and a lot of owners add their own special touch.
Because ours is unique, the taste is really unique. We have a secret ingredients that we add on these chops. Trust me, it's beautiful.
We have a homemade sauce and our marination is homemade. If you would like to come and buy, we're happy to smile you and serve you with a smile.
There are some new rides available for the kids, and owner Vandana Chand says she brought her merry-go-round and other rides from Australia.
These are new rides we've got from overseas. So basically these cater from 1 to 5 years old.
Other amusement owners say both adults and children have been enjoying the rides.
To come here every year, our ride here is the first wheel, a $4 flat for children and adults.
Kids coming every day, about 12 years, 9 years, 13 years, they come and jump here in the bouncing castle. But yesterday crowd was very heavy.
The festival wraps up this Saturday with the crowning of Miss Hibiscus. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
A post-continent agreement workshop led by NGOs and civil societies together with the European Union was held in Suva today. The workshop reflects on the future relations of the Asian, Caribbean, Pacific and EU member countries in terms of trade and progress, as the continent agreement will end in February of 2020. The Pacific Network on Globalization coordinator Maureen Pechueli says it is important that Pacific Island countries are aware that their spaces are contested for by powerful countries on a global level.
We all know, and I think everyone can equally recognize, that the Pacific has become a contested space by these global powers. This treaty will determine some of those parameters of how we engage with the European Union.
In sports later with Jamie, Kandavo under 14 netball side wins Central Primary School competition, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break.
Tourism Award focuses on human resource development. And in growing Fiji, famous curry house at Albert Park back in business. Stay with us.
Voila, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic.
Leading business tonight, the ANZ Fiji Excellence in Tourism Award is this year encouraging a specialised focus on human resource development. Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association President Dixon Sito says the FITA will focus on recognising hotels and tourism operators who are lifting the customer service standards by providing ongoing training for staff and transforming their service standards. The awards will be held on February 16 next year at Sofitel Resort and Spa on Danara Island in Nadi.
The goal of the awards is to promote and recognise excellence in the largest industry in the country, the tourism industry. I don't have to tell you in terms of employment, foreign exchange earnings, investment. It is by far the largest industry in Fiji today, and
it has been a great success for the last 3 years, and we want to make sure that we continue to support this going into 2019 and 2020.
And we now join Sean from HFC Bank with the latest from the Money World.
Wall Street's three main indices rose yesterday as the Turkish lira moved away from an all-time low, easing fears of broader financial contagion. The lira's free fall may have stopped, but Turkey hasn't yet tackled its fundamental problems that has kept market sentiment subdued. The US dollar is holding at a 14-month high. The strength of the greenback was compounded by the fall of the euro due to the financial turmoil in Turkey. Closer to home, Australia's wage growth has continued near record lows despite solid expansion in the number of jobs over the past 2 years. While the result is the strongest quarterly rise since March 2014, most workers will notice little change once inflation is taken into account. Wage increases in Australia are grown at an annual rate of only 2.1%. And that's all the latest from HFC Bank. Finaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at the currency exchange rates set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The market was calm since yesterday when the Fiji dollar rose against 6 of the 7 currencies we cover. Today it's still on the rise against the Aussie dollar, the euro and the Japanese yen, but slipped against the other currencies we cover. As for the commodities market, the price of oil remained on the descent, dropping below $67 a barrel. Gold was also down to close at $1,191 an ounce, and silver closed at $14.96 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, it's a well-known curry house that somewhat took a break with the renovation of Albert Park, forcing the establishment to move to temporary locations, at one point operating from the owner's home. It's been 3 years and the Albert Park kiosk is back on familiar grounds. Maggie Boyle has more.
Guess who's back? It's the popular curry house that had to shut its doors in 2015 to make way for a renovated Albert Park.
Just having a temporary move, just to stay doing it at home. Yeah, so we are happy now back at Albert Park.
Even the previous employers have returned.
Albert Park is part of our life. We came back because our policies are good. They called us.
The family business is set to carry on into another decade.
It was my dad's dream to keep going, keep this business going, so he's walking on his footsteps, and we'll keep this place going for as long as we can.
And its patrons have come back in a flurry.
When they relocated from Albert Park to minibus, I was there.
It was good, food was delicious, and it's a bit cheap compared to the ones in town.
So long, maybe, I think 2 years or what, because of the new
I will go Albert Park. We used to come on the other side, so now we've come to test it on the other side, opposite side.
The Albert Park kiosk took a little over 2 decades to establish itself as a well-known curry hotspot, and while it's had temporary locations over the last 3 years, it's back here at Albert Park to stay. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Suva Blues dominate Kachi Rugby. And St. Joseph crowned secondary schools hockey champions. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm a Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Suva Blues defeated Dhakaunrove 22-0 in the Vodafone Kachi Rugby Under-14 final this afternoon at NZ Stadium. Meanwhile, a try by Chope Lomani in the dying minutes of the Under-14 Tier 2 final gave Sirua a 5-0 win over Navosa. In the Under-12 grade, Madhuwata beat Namosi West 35-7. In the Tier 2 final, Suva Blues defeated Nasinu 7-0 in the Tier 1 final. In the Under-13 Tier 2 final, Mbudha Bay beat Wainimala 24-0, while Suva Blues defeated Dhakaunrove 17-0 in the Tier 1 final. A determined Suva Blues side won the Kachi Rugby Tier 1 Under-12 grade today at the ANZ Stadium. The young Suva boys were taken to the wire throughout the competition, and it was no different in the final, holding on to beat Nasinu 7-0. John Tambori reports.
The win was a special one for the Suva team, who delivered in the finals despite having 2 deaths in their team's family.
We had 2 deaths in our team. One is yesterday, our father of the child died. So last night we had to go and do our rengu. And today, again, before the game, they told us again that a mother of one of our child also in our team had died.
After all they have been through, Captain Yamani Nangida is thankful that they managed to win the Under-12 grade.
I want to thank the Almighty God for giving us the honor and strength to defeat the machine in the fight.
This win will definitely boost their players' chances of making it to the national Under-12 side that will tour Tonga later on this year. John Tabore, FBC Sports.
Kandavu took home the Under-14 title at the Central Netball Primary Schools Championship, which ended last night at the National Netball Centre in Laucala Bay, Suva. The island team defeating Suva Gold 12 goals to 11 in the final. Meanwhile, Suva took home the Under-11 and Under-13 titles, beating Kandavu in both grades, while Nasinu was crowned Under-12 champions after beating Kandavu 8-7. 32 teams will compete in the mixed Under-18 3-on-3 basketball championships that will be held next Friday. Each team will consist of 2 girls and 2 boys, with the competition to be played at the Damoda City Car Park in Laucala Bay, Suva. The winning team will go on to represent Fiji in Bali, Indonesia at the Youth Leaders Basketball Cup in December.
Not only will the tournament be competitive as it is progressive, they will also be going abroad and doing workshops. Instead of having game day after day, we have days of workshops and also maybe a couple of days of game time.
The St. Joseph Secondary Schools Under-19 team was crowned new champions of the Tuckers Fiji Secondary Schools Hockey Championship in Suva today. The Suva school maintained its unbeaten record from the pool games right through to the final, where they beat Sangam Sadhu Kupaswamy Memorial College 2-0. John Tambori reports.
After defeating defending champions Levuka Public 2-1 in the semi-finals, St. Joseph continued the momentum into the final.
The difference is, I think, so the skills. Yeah, the skills, they are fit, they are more tougher looking than ours, our girls. The team bonding is the main thing. there's no team bonding, then everybody will just playing individually.
For Captain Gabriel Hoshi says all their hard work has paid off.
I think the effort and the dedication that they put into training in the morning and in the afternoon really paid off. Under 16s managed to reach the semi-finals, and under 19s the finals and the winners.
Ho says the team wouldn't have made it this far without the support of their various families and the school.
For guiding us throughout the competition, our parents as well, for their support financially and both here at the club, and to our coaches as well and the girls.
This was the same team that won the under-16 grade last year. Their winning streak has definitely followed them to their new grade. John Tabore, FBC Sports.
That was sports for this evening. Join Angie later on with weather. And in the world of the weird and the wonderful later on, a look at the Taiwanese art of massaging with knives. That's coming up.
Narang golesenya, Obama kita benakas, dorong-rong benakape, on radio Fijuan, nandomibit.
Ayaw benyana, kita barong na radio Fijuan, nandomibisi, hinatoka.
Guado ilaisa ingatoka, rong-rong binana heramakawa ina radio Fijuan hingatoka.
Radio Fijuan, nandomibiti.
In tonight's new media, we take a look at a phone that's assembled with an accordion-style folding function. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It's Wednesday, which means 2 more days to go before we can wind down and relax in this great weather. For today, it's been pretty cool and sunny throughout, but the night will be quite cool. Looking to the west for today, sunshine was in abundance, pretty warm as well. Eastwards from Pekhava to Suva, quite overcast and cool, just accurate for enjoying the Hibiscus Festival. And up north, very sunny on this side and humid too. At sea, southeast winds at 20 to 25 knots, rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 10:59 p.m. with high tide at 4:14 a.m. Sunrise at 6:26. For tomorrow, a gorgeous sunny day is in for us. Very light showers indicated for the afternoon period. Tomorrow's temps will drop down to 16 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, another great day is lined up. Plus, it's the start of the weekend mood. What more can be better? That's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should amusement rides at festivals be replaced?
For the safety of our children and the citizens, I think the ride should be replaced every 2 years.
Yeah, it's better like that. 2 to 3 years, you have to change it.
Yes, I think it should. The ride should change because of the safety of the people.
I think the ride should be replaced because it gets old and many people can get injured if it's not replaced.
Rides need to be serviced much more, and if there's no longer time for service, then they need to be replaced.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Grace Road Church headquarters raided last night. Villagers of Nathanrandave and Tailevu living in fear. And FTU refute statement made by the AG. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, this week we're asking, is race-based campaigning becoming a concern for Fijians? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day. A man just piggybacking an actual pig in Pacific Harbour. The picture was sent in by Andimbuli Nadola, a resident in the area who randomly takes photos of everyday life in the adventure capital of Fiji. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबोलुम्बुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट
मशहूर है, वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।